Hi, my name is Angie. Welcome to Rock Sun Spiritual Channel. I am a spiritual director with wellness coaching, and I have a master's of divinity specializing in spiritual direction, and I also have a bachelor's in health education, and I have been helping people for 23 years to thrive in life. And so today I'm going to talk to you about nutrition and illustrate about how all of the different dimensions are actually connected to nutrition. And the reason why I decided to do this video is because I realized that I've gained a few pounds lately. And I realized that probably has a lot to do with the fact that we moved about 2 months ago. And so it was a very stressful time for me. Also, developing and strengthening my business has also been exciting and joyful, but also a lot of stress. And so I primarily eat more than I usually do when I'm stressed. So a lot of different people have different reasons why they might eat or not eat at certain times. So I wanted to give an illustration. And everyone has a different relationship with food and nutrition, but I just wanted to give people an idea of things to think about that might be affecting them other than just their eating habits. So I want to talk to you about spiritual. So that is what I believe is at the center of all what we believe. And that is about ourselves and about the world around us. That is our belief system. That's what gives us guidance. That gives us strength. So when it comes to nutrition, there's a lot of different ways that your beliefs can affect you. So sometimes when we don't have a very high self-esteem, we might find a lot of comfort from food. So if we're trying to change our eating habits, but yet we're also still lingering by the fact that the only comfort we can get is from food, then we're going to struggle making nutritious decisions. Another way that our belief system can affect us is there's definitely a lot of religious beliefs and spiritual beliefs about food and how people should interact with food that can affect people. It can also be a belief that, let's say you are a strong person with a belief that we should be conscious of making sure that everyone has adequate food. So maybe you would choose then not to eat as much food because you're consciously aware of making sure that everyone gets the same amount of food. Or maybe you're someone who really wants to treat themselves after work and really looks forward to that. And so that might be your belief, is that you work hard and you deserve the certain kind of meal that you're going to feed yourself. So that is a belief system, and how it can affect. It also is affected by emotions. I talked about, like, when I am really stressed, I have a tendency to eat more food. People can eat more food when they're depressed, when they're sad, when they're lonely, when they're bored. So understanding why you eat when you do. Sometimes people are the opposite. They don't eat when they're stressed, when they're lonely, when they're sad, when they're excited. So understanding the emotions that you have and how food is tied to that. Another aspect of how nutrition is affected is by us physically. So nutrition can be part of the reason that somebody might have an illness. And so that affects your physical health. So in that way, nutrition is affected. And then also your physical level. So if you are burning more calories or not burning more calories, then that might be something that you need to think about when it comes to nutrition. And a lot of our bodies interact with foods in a different kind of way, just physically. And so then we need different kind of foods because of the makeup of our food. The way that our sexual wellness can be affected by nutrition is that if we have an illness, if we're not feeling good, if something doesn't agree with us, if we feel really bloated, or if we're sick, or we have low energy because of the foods that we're eating or not eating, and that can affect that experience as well. Intellectually, our nutrition can affect our intellectual wellness because there are certain foods like omega-3s that really help the brain. And so if we're lacking that, then we might not be intellectually functioning at the peak that we could have. So it also stands to reason that if people are financially not able to afford healthy foods, that their nutrition is affected by that. Another way is, so if we're struggling intellectually, if we're not having the nutrition that helps our brain work at its peak performance, then that can affect our occupational wellness. So that can be, maybe we're tired on the job, maybe it's hard for us to focus, maybe we're sick often, and so then we miss a lot of work. So that affects occupational, which also in turns affects us financially. So sometimes our financial wellness affects our nutrition by what options we're able to gain, but it can also affect us financially if we're sick a lot and we're missing work, or it can affect us financially that if we are trying to get healthier food, then that affects us that way. And then environmental wellness can be affected because if we are trying to, say, have a farm or have a garden and raise your own food, and if your environment is contaminated, then you're going to have not healthy food. So food that would actually hurt your body. Or if you live in an area and there are people who live where the environment is really lacking nutritious food, there's not even nutritious food available. Or in the parts of the world where people don't have much resources financially and occupationally, then that can affect it just by where people live, where they're growing up in their environment, can affect their nutritious choices. Another aspect that I haven't mentioned yet is socially. So if you are trying to eat healthy, but then you're around a lot of people who expect certain kind of food, and maybe they really like to have desserts or engage in a large feast of food, and that actually doesn't help your body if that's not what your body needs. But you don't want to tell people no, that you don't want to go. And so then it can affect nutrition, can affect you socially, and socially can affect you nutrition. Also, sometimes parents will tell their kids they have to finish all their plate, and that teaches kids to overeat. So the relationships that children have and what families instill upon them can also affect their nutrition. So I just wanted to give a quick overview about how all the dimensions of wellness interact with the concept of nutrition. So if you like the video, please like it and watch more videos. And I hope that you could leave a message, tell me a topic that you would like for me to discuss in the areas of wellness. And I just thank you for joining me today on my YouTube video. And as always, blessed be, striving for peace. Thank you.